hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Mark Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Happy New Year. Good morning, Caro. How are you, Ascending Fam? It's been a minute. I am your happy host of Ascending here on the Mark Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. We thank you so much. We thank you so much for starting off this new year. Some of you know that we've been on an unexpected hiatus for 3 weeks. Oh my gosh, I miss y'all so much. But I'm happy that you all are here joining in. Tell your people, your family, your friends. We are back. It is the first Saturday of 2026, and we have a lot to talk about. It's very specific, but it's a lot to talk about. We're going to start off the year right. But before we do that, even though we're going to change some things around, tell us from where you are ascending. You know how we do. Did I see Cynthia Rose already in the comments? Yes, Cynthia Rose is here. I know Rolando's coming. Cynthia, you've been so on point. We welcome you all the way from the West Coast. I forgot what part. It's my brain. But welcome. So tell us from where you are ascending. I know the Bronx is here. Cynthia Rose is here, but if we want to see that, we'll go over the comments a little bit later in the show. We're going to just jump right. Oh, wait, first, hold up. Let me give a shout out. Let me give a shout out to the Mark Lamont Hill official team and Mark Lamont Hill himself. I want to shout out my A team, Drake, Aaron, Kevin, and Sandy, who have been doing all the things while we have been away for 3 weeks. Wow, that was unexpected, but I'll explain that a little bit later. I want to definitely let you know what we're going to be focusing on today. This is original episode 46. Original episode 46. And we are going to celebrate the life and living specifically of my father, who passed away 2 days ago. We're going to specifically talk about this heroic woman who I call my other mother, his wife, who passed away December 8th, which is why we hadn't been on the show live for 3 weeks. We're going to talk about those two amazing people. We're going to talk about broader than them, what it means to give thanks to those who have come before us. We want to talk about and let this be an opportunity for the community to gather and put in the comments. And some of you are welcome to even come live with me if you'd like to pay homage to those who have passed. I know very specifically the Howard University family and the Black Neoforce family. In the past several days, we've experienced a lot of death amongst people who we hold dear. And then personally, people have experienced death in my inner circle, of which I'm not at liberty to talk about. But I am at liberty to talk about also my personal experience with death in the past 30 something days. Like I said, including my father 2 days ago, and also my other mother, Miss Patricia Ann Vassar Silver. But you know me, right? I'm not using this platform to talk about my whatever singularly, but for the community. So when we get to the part where we want to invite you to say the names of those who you love and who are dear, whether they passed this month, it's only the third day, December, September, last year, 1967, whatever. This is an opportunity for you to concretize your love and respect for someone that you hold dear and put it out in the world. We have only made this announcement a couple of hours ago. I'm sure you will pardon me that there was no big announcement that we were coming back. I'm sure you will pardon me in that regard. So I just announced it on my Facebook and on my IG that this is what we're going to do today. There's no other guest except those people who we love, whether we say their names or not, whoever we hold in our hearts, those people who we love, in a very specific, paying homage to Eddie Silver Jr., my father, who just passed January 1st, the evening of January 1st. So that's not meant to bring anything down. It's a opportunity to celebrate, and I'll tell you why I'm actually in a joyful space. We'll get into that a little bit later. We're not going to do bookmark today. We're not going to do the Black Media shout out. And what's the other one? Black owned bookstores. Well, you know what? Let me do this. We're not going to have a banner. Kevin, don't yell at me. But I just need to say, to keep in rhythm, we normally have a banner we normally have the picture. I am going to say, let's go ahead and continue to support Black owned bookstores like Uncle Bobby's, UncleBobby's.com for those who are listening and not watching. I think it's extra important because there's a tie-in. I think for the rest of my life, I'll be making tie-ins to my father. But my father was a big, what I want to say, supporter of my writing. And you all know that I have a book, Be a Father to Your Child, which came out, 2008. So with that being said, I'm making the connective tissue here. Yes, we're going to do the regular shout out to Black owned bookstores. Go get your books from a Black owned bookstore, be it online or a brick and mortar. As you know, Uncle Bobby's is based in Philadelphia and is owned by Mark Lamont Hill. Go to, I knew it. Kevin, I knew you was going to get that picture. We're looking at the wonderful picture of the brick and mortar building, Uncle Bobby's in Philadelphia, owned by Mark Lamont Hill. So we're going to keep that segment here. But if you are listening and not watching, go to UncleBobby's.com. Bobby is BOBBIES, UncleBobby's.com. Let me take a break to say if you're watching on Twitter, on Mark Lamont's Twitter, Mark Lamont Hill's Twitter channel, thank you. We appreciate you watching. But you know how we do. Go over and switch over to YouTube. That's how you support this Black media movement on this channel, is by watching, allowing us the opportunity for Mark to pay some bills. And he does that when you watch on YouTube, real talk. So what I want to do now is I want to go into my in memoriam. Y'all already in the comments a lot. I'll check the comments a little bit. Oh, there's Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. BNF is here. My sister, Abora Aboya Bosise. Yeah, Ifosayo. So I'm going to go into the comments because I see myself getting all, what am I trying to say? Thrown off. So I want to stay on track. But we are going to talk about, we're going to have a celebration of life in the community. I'm going to start off by talking about Miss Pat. I want you to take your time and put some comments in. My producers will let me know if some of you want to join the live, like literally join the live with me to talk about who you want to lift up. This is unscripted. This is a live stream. It's unscripted. It's unrehearsed. And so far, my internet is holding up. Y'all see me in a different space, right? I'm in Florida. That's where my father lived, and that's why I shared that. I'm in the house that was shared by my father and Miss Pat. So on December 8th, Miss Pat, who is how I identify her, the wife of my father for the past 20 plus years, passed away unexpectedly and suddenly. I'll be honest and say, when they first got married, I thought she was a nice woman. And I trust my father's judgment. He married my mother, right? So I trust his judgment. But it was a okay connection, right? It was a okay connection, and it was cool, but it wasn't warm and fuzzy, right? It was cool, it was good, it was positive, but it wasn't warm and respectful. I call her Miss Pat because I'm old school. That's how I was raised. We don't call people older than us of a certain age by their first name. We just don't. That's not how we do. But what I'm excited to share as I honor her spirit, and unfortunately, I didn't think to get pictures, but the relationship became warm and fuzzy because she emerged, in my experience, particularly in the past almost 10 years, as a heroic woman, as a woman who is unparalleled in her care, particularly for her husband, my father. It's a longer story. Clearly, I'm going to have to write about it. But it came to me the other day that one of the best ways to describe her love and her care for her husband, as she took care of him as he suffered from dementia and Alzheimer's, which revealed itself slowly starting in 2016. It was a fierce, heroic, legendary, extraordinary love and care and attention that I'm convinced that kept my father alive for extra years, at least extra 5 years, at least. And so every time she would keep me at front of mind to let me know what was going on with his Alzheimer's and dementia, the doctor's appointments, what she was doing, and whenever she needed a break, she would call me, right? And so we would she would put him in respite center again here in Florida. And I would come from wherever I was in the country. I would come and stay a week, not even at major advance notice. I would just come so that I could care for him and watch over the nurses and whatever every single day while she was away. In the beginning, there was not the nurse, there was not the respite center. The first time she needed a break, which I totally understood, I forgot what year it was, I don't know. But I had to take care of my father in this house by myself for a week. And I told her this, right? I didn't say nothing then. I was like, wait, 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 wait. You want me to come? So when is the nurse going to come to bathe him? And I told her this before. We laugh about it now, but in the beginning, I was mad at that woman because she was asking me to come to take care of my father by myself in this house. I was like, well, how is he going to get bathed? Who's going to bathe him? She was like, you will. You'll get over it. Ugh. We laughed about it maybe as recently as in 2025, but in the beginning, that was not funny. But I did it, right? Because there was no other choice. He couldn't stay here in the house by himself for a week while she took a much needed vacation after taking care of him by herself with his dementia and Alzheimer's. Um, and when I got here, this is the short version. When I got here, this is when he was mobile, but he had clearly lost his mind. No, no, like real talk. The scenarios presented such that I had convinced myself quite easily that I was his nurse and not his daughter. To be able to see him in such a decline was horrific. That's why I grieve differently now in 2026 than I did in what was that 20, I don't know, 2016, 2017, 2018 is all a blur. But there's something that cancels out your fears and insecurities when love is present. Fears and insecurity and ego and all of that stuff gets squashed if the love is real. So I took care of my father the best way that I knew how, and I could tell you he was clean every day. You know what I mean? But I'm saying that to say that in the beginning, I kept a lot of things to myself out of respect for Miss Pat. And then it evolved into a relationship where I identified her as my other mother. So she went from Miss Pat to my father's wife, which is how I identified her for years because it was respectful. And then I was like, yo, this woman is otherworldly. And so then she became my other mother. Um, and she identified me as one of her daughters. Like that's how close we were. So to have her transition suddenly and unexpectedly was a gut punch to everybody who knew and loved her, particularly her family, particularly her other daughter, my sister, Lex, who has been in the comments. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank her out loud, to say out loud, as I've said, oh, there's my sister. Hey, Lex. Yeah, that's my sister. Um, I wanted to say out loud that I've said in other circles how much I love and respect her, not just because she took care of my father, not because she was a phenomenal human being. Well, you know what? It's because of all of those things, right? So I don't want to ordinate why I loved her more one way than the other. I don't want to ordinate my emotions or my feelings. I just want to say to the spirit of Miss Pat, thank you so much. There are no words in the dictionary or sounds in the universe that can articulate the respect and the gratitude that I have for you, what you stood for, what you believed in, and how you loved on your family, particularly your husband, who, as far as we know, is en route to you now. So I wanted to do that. I'm sorry, fam, that I don't have pictures. I wasn't thinking as clearly as I should have, but I wanted to do that. We're going to talk about my father in just a little bit, and I have a poem. It's something about death that concretizes some things. So I have a poem that I'm going to read at the end. But I want to make sure, guys, that I want this to be a community celebration, right? There's no other guest today but me. And I want to make sure that if there is someone that wants to put in the comments the name, the relationship um, of someone who they've passed, be it whenever, this is the place that we can honor. And the reason why this is important, y'all, for real, and this is meant to celebrate and not to bring anybody down. But what, I don't know, it was June or May. We've been doing this show for a year now. And I think it was in June or May. We have a section every week called In Memoriam, because that's like our respect for our ancestors is not talk, is not simply on a t-shirt. Like we demonstrate it by pulling the names. I do research so that my in memoriams, which is a segment on the show, is not about always the people we know about, right? But if somebody passes in the week, or there's a historic figure or someone that I might feel personally that doesn't get enough shine, then we find their pictures, we find their books, we find their websites, we find memoriam pages, and we shout them out because that is how we demonstrate our love for those who have come before us. That's what do I want to say? When we say we stand on the shoulders of those who come before us, then we need to call their names. That's a thing, to say their names with love. And we do that. So this is the extended version. So, guys, I want to just defer to you all before I go into some of the other. Guys, let's do the comments on the screen. Do we want to do that, Drake? I know last time we could have the comments on the screen in real time, but they were small. Do we want to try that? Guys, I'm talking to my, there we are. So I think let's do that. And I think you all can see them in a big way. Watch this. Hold on, guys. Don't do anything. Watch this. Watch this. Uh-oh. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do regular. That's as big as it gets. But thank you. Yeah. So I want to go into the comments. I want to find some banners. Guys, I will trust you on the banners. I want to find some people who might want to say the names of their families or loved ones or community members. And while I'm doing that, Sean Houston is here. Lord, I'm gonna shout out everybody from Howard, everybody from Black Nia Force. I see the Elay is here. I'm gonna shout y'all out. But let me call some names. Besides Miss Pat, my Howard University family is also experiencing and dealing with the grief of Jarrell Allen, who is a music producer, aficionado, indie producer of extraordinary acclaim. He passed away suddenly this week. If I'm wrong, y'all can correct me, but I believe it was this week, and it was a gut punch to the Howard University family, the Cultural Initiative family. You've heard us talk about that before, so I want to just say, as far as I know, he had roots in Philadelphia, but based in Atlanta. I just want to say to his family and friends, I want to send my condolences for sure. That was unexpected. There's a lot of unexpected deaths going on. We also had in the Howard University family, Taika Tonge. I think her legal name was Taika Adams. Just 2 days ago, that death happened as well. That was a little bit of an extra punch for me personally. I knew her well. She was a member of Black Nia Force. You've heard us talk about that, particularly when Raz Baraka was on the show. Raz was our third or fourth interview, I think. But bigger than that, bigger than what organization she was a part of, bigger than the fact that she was a mother and a wife, and a sister to many, and a grandmother, if I'm not mistaken. Bigger than all of that, she was an amazing human being with a generous spirit that loved life and loved to dance. She asked us to pray for her, and we did, within the Black Nia Force family. Black Nia Force family. So that I don't want to say it was unexpected. I don't know that that's fair to say, but it hurt. But it hurt tremendously. So I wanted to say her name. On a larger level, we know just by extension from the Howard University family, Richard Smallwood passed as well, founder of the Howard University Gospel Choir. If I'm making any mistakes in any of these titles, you all will let me know. Um, Trigger warning for those who don't curse, because I do. But Isaiah Whitlock Jr., what was he from, guys? The Wire, whole bunch of movies. Um, it's so funny that when you see his face, if you don't know his name as an actor, right? This black actor, if you don't know his face, I mean, if you don't know his name, you know his word. And he was the one that was always in the, I can't even do it right. He was always like, shit. I can't even do it right because he had the whole breath control, and that was just his thing, which was reflective of black culture at its premium level. But he was that guy. I wish I had Kevin. If you could find, well, yeah, if you could find a clip, it would make it more. It would make it more powerful. But there was a lot of people, and this is a conversation my girlfriend and I had, Akanke, just recently, and a conversation I've had with my Babalao Chief Ayanda. You've heard me talk about that name a lot. Like, death is present all the time. We have this thing that says, oh, it always happens in threes. Um, and it's a lot this for December. But the reality of it is death, Iku, is ever present. It is as present as life. The proximity is is close. It's close, and it can be sudden, like the unexpected passing of Miss Pat. I think where it hurts is that when you are in a circle of like-minded people, or in your community, or in your family, and everything is going well, and people are sick but they're surviving, and we have all these triumphant stories, and then all of a sudden you look up and every text message is that somebody passed. Or every time you log on to Facebook, I know I was trying to come back on Facebook a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm drawing a blank, and I'm so sorry because there's so many people. So that's why I want you to put the names in the comments of those who passed. I had to log back out because it was too many people. But death is ever present. We know that. How we deal with it is another thing. But yeah, nobody gets out of here alive. Keela. Okay, I'm going to the comments. I'm going to the comments. Let me go to the top, all right, before we get into me getting all gushy about Eddie Silver Jr. Guys, I need an audible, guys. Do you all want to do the comments, or am I going to go to the comments?
You can go ahead and go.
Okay, thank you, Drake. Drake is back. Congratulations, Drake, of Bronx Knights. What team won the championship, the New York City championship?
The Junior Pee Wee division won the New York
Junior-
City Youth Football League championship.
Yes, one of the New York City League football championships belongs to the Junior Pee Wees of the Bronx Knights. Y'all heard me talk about the Bronx Knights. I know some of y'all donated to that nonprofit organization, of which I am a founding member. So congratulations, Drake, to you, to the boys, to the cheerleaders, to the girls. Did y'all have you all have had girl football players in your organization? Was that this year as well?
Yes, every year.
Every year there's a girl playing football, not just cheerleading.
At least one. Yeah.
At least one. And you have boy cheerleaders, yes?
We have not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I just called it into existence, so get ready. So shout out to the Bronx Knights. Thank you, Drake. I'll go ahead and do the comments. I'll start with the starred ones. Thank you, Sandy. Love, light, and prayers, and condolences to April. You went in. April, Omar, Alexis, and family. Thank you, Sandy, one of our producers here. I won't do any repeats there. And then she says also, rest in peace and power, Mr. Silver. We're going to talk about why he was such an amazing man. We have another comment that says, and I can't tell who this is by picture, but it says, my condolences to you and Familia. May he rest in peace. Thank you so much. Reggie Jackson is always here every week, I think. Bathing your parents is an experience people don't want to talk about, but years later, you find joy in it. Can I say that? It was honorable for me to do that. And it only took me a day to figure out, like I said, that this is what I'm supposed to do. Everybody has their superpowers and whatever, and making sure my father was healthy and clean was a non-issue for me. Like I said, when love is present, it has a way of smashing ego and insecurities. I want to say, there's Lex, there's my sister. Okay, so Lex, we got to talk because you're supposed to be taking a test. So your big sister is like, wait, what are you doing here? So we'll talk about that. But I welcome you, sis. You know I love you. That's who we call Lex. She says rest in peace. So I definitely wanted to do that. And in a minute, I want to go to some other comments to see. Hold on. Where we have some people. Sean is here. Let me shout out the people who is here. That's Sean Houston, who I love and adore. Sean Houston is here. Thank you, Sean. Definitely. We have Howard University is here. I'm gonna put some more stuff up. Aboato Ianifao, so good to see you. This is Sayo. Y'all remember we had that amazing episode in June. We were gonna do like a clip of all the shows that I loved so much. We'll still do that at one point, but this episode with Sayo from Sayo Sound Healing was a music tribute in June. Go back and watch every episode of Ascending. Go to the playlist on YouTube, the column that says playlist. Ascending should be right at the top. Click it. And it was in June. It was a tribute for Black Music Month. And thank you. And Sayo was there. And we had an amazing show. And when I said to her, you got to come back, I meant it, even though the guys yell at me all the time. Stop telling people that. But I want to shout you out. Go to Sayo, put your please, Nifa, put your website in the chat so we can definitely remind people that they should go and visit one of your 2 locations around sound healing. So let's do that. Oh, what Sandy said, go ahead and like and comment and subscribe to this channel. Don't say you want to be here, you happen to be here, and you ain't subscribed to this channel, and you haven't liked the video. Don't be a thief. We do this freely, so we just ask that you like, subscribe, and tell everybody about it. And your comments. This guy from, this is, y'all remember Chief Ayanda Ifadara Clark. My Baba Oloye is here. I get tongue-tied because he's such a powerful figure. Words escape me. So Chief Ayanda is here. He's been on the show before. I think he was one of the first 5 guests. Go back and watch that episode as well. Clearly, a lot of you, thousands of you have already done so. Do yourself a favor. So he says, Ile Otorpon Sokun is in the building near and far. Love and light to the entire Silver family. Modupwe Baba, I thank you so much. Your presence this morning means a lot to me and to the team. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope everybody stays to the end because I will summon the courage to read a tribute to my father. But not only was Chief Ayanda on this show, Ascending, but he was on the Mark Lamont Hill show 2024, maybe. I don't remember the day, but he was with Rhymefest. He has some more media coming up. We'll talk about that as well. But he and Mark, the owner of this channel, and Rhymefest did an amazing show. I think it was 2024. Rhymefest, who identifies Chief Ayanda as his spiritual advisor, talked about a lot of things, including reparations, and it was a very, very powerful episode. You can Google Mark Lamont Hill, Rhymefest, one word, who was a recent guest, and Chief Ayanda. Go watch that, and go watch Chief Ayanda's um, presence here, his episode on this show, Ascending. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I'm not going to put you on the spot. All right, let me move on. Mr. Wealth for You. I know he's probably rolling his eyes right now. Mr. Wealth for You says, God bless you, April, and all of you, us, who have experienced a loss recently and through the ages. That is Mr. Morris Red. I've known him since high school. We've known each other so long, I thought that we first met in junior high. And I was at his shout out to, talk about good things. Morris Red got married recently to Lamar, and I was at that wedding in August. And he was like, "Why do you keep telling people we've known each other since junior high school? That's not true." I was like, "Really?" So we've known each other forever. So thank you for your blessings, for your prayers, Morris. And I'm sending love and light to you on your less than a year old marriage. I want to say, who else do I want to shout out real quick before we go into me going to talk about my father? Sorry, y'all see my eyes all over the place. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. I don't see any specific names. Oh, here we go. Ah, wow, that was amazing. As soon as I said, rest in M. Shay. Is that's, oh, hey, sis, that's Maisha. My dear sister, who I met through Rock Goddess a million years ago. Thank you, Maisha, for shouting out Arlene. I hope I pronounced that right. Arlene Marie Reese. Yes, her mother, Arlene, passed away in August of 2025, just a couple of months ago. I know that was a tough journey. Like I said, Maisha and I, who is an amazing actress and comedian, and my former assistant at Aquila Work Songs, and based in Brooklyn. I just want to shout you out, and I just want to, because I know and intimate with that being a tough journey. I thank you for calling out her name in full. So we're sending you love too, to your entire family, to one of my nephews, your son, to everybody. Thank you for lifting her up. I was at, Maisha, I don't know if I told you, but I was at the virtual presentation of your mom, and it was beautiful. Maritri was there. Maritri was on this show as well. Ghana officiated. Shout out to Ghana, who I love. These are my sisters. I just love how we love on each other. So I definitely want to say that. And I see someone else that says, "Oh, Indigo Washington, how you doing, sis?" So her comment is, for those who are listening and not watching, says, "I honored my grandfather, William Washington, who transitioned on January 1st, 1996, 30 years ago. I honored him by consuming only liquids from sunrise to sundown. May he continue to rest in peace." Thank you so much, Indigo, for sharing that. Um, Also, she goes on to say, for those who are listening and not watching, Joan Washington, my mother, she says, I'm quoting, transitioned December 18, 2016. May she continue to rest in peace. My prayer and my hope for you, if you're willing to accept it, that their memories and that which is good and positive and loving in your heart comfort you, and that their souls soar. I have the belief, for those who are willing to listen, that when our loved ones transition and actually go to the ancestral realm, they are way more powerful for us um, than they were in the flesh. So I am, and that's part of the reason why I am happy. But Indigo, thank you for sharing. Maisha, thank you for sharing. And of course, there's Rolando. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. I knew you were going to be here. So Rolando, everybody, is one of the regulars. Is there another word stronger than regular? Because Rolando's always here. So it's good to see you, fam, in the comments. Guys, I want to highlight this one. This is my sister. I have a lot of sisters. Natalie says, April, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of both your dad and your Natalie. I'm going to edit, right? It says stepmother, but I'm going to edit if you don't mind, fellow English major. Um, so she says, I'm sorry, so sorry to hear about the loss of both your dad and your stepmother. May you experience deep peace as you mourn. Thank you, Natalie. And I'm sorry for interrupting the flow to edit. Y'all know Natalie's a wordsmith and she's an editor, so maybe she can appreciate that we're always editing. And the only thing I would like to enhance her statement that I received lovingly and with great gratitude is I know in our family, on both sides of the family, we don't use labels like stepmother or half sister or whatever. My father never did. Miss Pat never did. On my mother's side of the family, we don't as well. So Natalie, I know you know my heart. My brain was racing and I saw that and it was a speed bump. So I apologize because I know, my dear sister, that you mean every word and I receive it lovingly. And I am in deep peace. Your prayers work, Natalie. I am in deep peace, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. I love you dearly. Natalie is an amazing producer, filmmaker. Um, yeah, she doing a lot of advocacy work. I just had a brainstorm. So Natalie, I'll be texting you because 2026 has got to find you here. So definitely. Who else do I want to shout out as well? Is this who I think it is? I'm not going to say, but Aboato. So this is River Muse. I think I know who this is, but because the name is not evident, I'll just keep because that's how we do as our wolves. We use discretion and everything as best we know how. Thank you, sis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the entire Ile, how wonderful it is to see you all here. Natalie, okay, let me show everybody. Natalie ain't mad that I was editing in real time. So, yes. Okay. You see what I did there, y'all? You see what I did there? Discretion is important. Discretion is important. We don't make assumptions about identity. River Muse is the YouTube name, right? And I thought I knew who it was, but I didn't say her name because if she wanted to be identified, I wasn't going to call her out. And so she heard me. I gave her the greetings and she said, yes, Ola Tutu is here. So that's that woman right there. Thank you, Ola Tutu, for revealing yourself because you know I wasn't gonna, because that's how we do as who we be. I'll leave it at that. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna move on. Thank you, sis. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so our Soldier University is Sean Houston. I saw that in the chat. And he says, for those who are listening and not watching, on the screen it says, yesterday we laid to rest my neighborhood elder, Forrest Smith, aka King Smooth. He was one of the original graffiti artists from Philly. Wow. A group named Philly Original Graffiti Legends represented. Sean, you know I love you. I thank you so much for sharing, for being here. Thank you for everybody from Howard and Black Neoforce for being here. Thank you, Sean. In this moment, I want to say thank you for lifting up the name of the elder, Forrest Smith, aka King Smooth, and to everybody who is going back and forth from crying to laughing as you have your memories. Thank you to his spirit for what he did for hip hop culture. May it forever have a rippling effect. May we always represent those who laid the groundwork, all of the legends, in whatever way they represented hip hop and Black culture. So we thank you. I didn't know that, Sean. So you taught us something because Sean is a teacher and a poet and an amazing human being who I'm so glad to know. And then with that, I'm going to also go, oh my God, before I go to, guys, let's take this one down, this banner, because I want y'all to see the whole thing. Let's take down Sean's banner. Yeah, I knew it was somebody. My God, I knew it was somebody that I had not articulated out loud. Mrs. Roberta McLeod passed away on November 23rd, I think it was. I'm going to try to edit myself, but I want you to hang on to every single word. When I say that Mrs. Roberta McLeod, Kevin, if you can find the picture, I will wait. They're all over Facebook, or whoever, Kevin, Aaron, Drake, because we absolutely have to put the face with the words. Mrs. Roberta McLeod was a phenomenal woman who mothered us at Howard University as students, as leaders, as the student officers at the Howard University Student Association, of which I was president and Mayor Raz Baraka was vice president. She mothered us during the iconic, legendary hip hop conference. She mothered us when we were at Black Nia Force. She mothered generations of young Black people who were trying to find their way in the world, where one of the pit stops was a Black university. We stayed in touch for years, but y'all know, put the names in the comments of those women who whose vaginal canal you did not come through, but they are your mother, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Do you all understand that to be a mother has very little to do? Got it, guys, I see it. Do we understand that being a mother and having the spirit of the maternal figure has very little to do with a vagina and a penis? It has very little to do with what comes through the vaginal canal. To be a mother is to do a lot, but the least of what it is has to do with the vaginal canal, and that is in no way at all ever diminishing biological ties, not at all. I'd like us to consider, though, what it means to be a mother and to father. We've talked about that here on the show, and I need to bring that life to life. And I want to say that Mrs. McLeod was one of our mothers, because she loved us with a fierceness, and it showed up as the way she protected us in all of our idealism, trying to change the world at 19 and 20, bucking the system, bucking the administrators at Howard University who were telling us that we were transients, that we didn't know what we were talking about, and our ideas were too big. And she was like, no, we're not doing that. And she found a way for us collectively, beyond Black Nia Force, beyond the conference, but in all the ways. She demonstrated what it means when like-minded people, irrespective of age, run interference for you against the system. And she was that. So later on, I trust my team will find the picture, because I'm going to circle back to her, because that was a devastating, I won't say loss. My uncle taught me that we don't lose people. We lose their flesh, but we don't lose people. So I don't say any longer, I'm sorry for your loss, because that would mean that we're disconnected, and we're not. So, but it was still hard when she transitioned from this material realm to the other realm. So blessings to her family, her children, her grandchildren, and to all of the children in the universe whose lives she touched in so many powerful ways before she got to Howard and after. I needed to shout her out for sure. We'll circle back to her, because I want y'all to see who she was, who she was in the flesh. That woman was wearing traditional African clothing every day she came to work. Everybody else was in corporate gear, because, a lot of folks try to be. There we go. Oh, not only did you find, you found her with the red, black, and green flag. I don't know which one of y'all did that. It's probably Kevin, but thank you, because that is the epitome. She was the director of that building that you see. You know how you have the student centers? For those who might not be familiar with the college universe, there's always a student center. That was our student center, the Blackburn Center. She was in charge of it, and the art gallery inside. And so every single day, she was representing our ancestral lineage to the continent of Africa every day. Everybody else was in regular clothes, and I'm not poo-pooing people who don't dress like that. I am acknowledging people who do dress like that, whose representation and love for Africa is not a custom. Thank you guys for finding that.
April,
I
you have a
want,
special guest in the studio.
yes, I saw that and I forgot. I want to welcome back to the stage my dear friend Kevin Powell. If he's still here, yes. Hey fam, how you
Good morning.
doing?
Good morning to you. Great to see you. Thank you, Brother Drake. Appreciate y'all.
Yes,
I'm on the West Coast, so it's early.
I know. I thank you. Folks, when I said I wanted people to come on and represent, I told Kevin that as well. We might have another special guest whose name you know very well, whose initials are MLH, but I no, not
Oh
gonna
wow.
say it.
hmm
Maybe. But I want to thank you, Kev, because even though I offered you the invitation as with others, I was like in my mind, but he's on the West Coast trying to chill to start off the year because you've had a year. But here you are regardless. So share with us, Kev, and welcome back to Ascending.
No, my spirit hit me when I woke up because you and I have been talking the last couple of days about your father, about last year, and I just said to myself, this needs to be the first thing I do this year in terms of any kind of podcast or anything that is broadcasted out there because you're my sister and we go back to we were youth activists, man. It's been a long
Yeah.
time. So I was smiling when you were talking about Howard and all the experiences and memories. And I love what you said, April, about it's not a loss because we're always forever spiritually connected to people who have been in our lives. And that's why I loved your poem. You asked me the other day, could you share it? You didn't know that I was going to be like, let's publish it, but we got it in, and I'm really
Yeah.
grateful that we did. Yeah.
And the newsletter called The Game.
Yes, I'm
I
sorry.
just wanted
I'm
to
still
no,
waking
I know,
up.
I know. But I wanted to share with people and producers, please find that website so we can put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. People should subscribe to The Game, of which you are
Yeah.
the editorial director.
Yes, and shout out. You may not even know this, but shout out to the actor Jesse Williams and a Japanese American visual artist named Glenn Kaino. They're the founders of the company that produces the newsletter, and so they gave me the space to for a few months. We did a 3-month trial just to see, and timing is everything. Like I said, we had to rerun a poem in there. People have been asking me, can I put a poem in there? Can I put a poem in there? I said, we don't do poetry. But when I read your poem, I said, oh my God, I just sat there and started crying reading it. And I said, we have to publish this. I'm glad you gave us permission to do that. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To honor your father.
and Kevin, you know my journey, right? Like we go more than 30 years. I think we need to stop saying 30 because
Yeah, it's getting up there. But we still only 40. So we met when we was in the hospital as babies. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean,
But when I was nervous because I fancied myself a poet long time ago, but I was never on the poetry scene. But it's something I always wanted to do. So I asked you and a couple of other people, would you read? Because it was just, you know how you get to a point, fellow writers, you and in the chat, when the work writes itself.
yes.
And so I wrote this while my father was living, and I saw him transitioning, and so it just came out. And I asked you and a couple of other people, and it hit the way that I didn't expect. So I thank you for reading it, for encouraging me, and then you put it out before I did because you had permission to do so.
Thank
So
you.
I thank you because it's hitting everybody the same way. And I'm going to read it, Kevin, if you can believe it. Read it at the end. Um, so so I thank you for being a friend all these years. You know these things that I talked about here publicly, you already knew. You're, part of my inner circle. So I thank you for your support. I don't take it lightly.
No, and prayers to you and your family, to the spirit of your father forever. May he be at peace. It's profound when we become caretakers. And I thank you for sharing some of the journey, because I've been doing that with my mother. And I think a lot of us are at that stage of life where we have to look out for a parent or parents, someone elder in our lives, which is part of our responsibility as African people to do. I've been doing it for the last couple of years, and we've been trading stories
Yeah.
about, our mothers, your father, and it's been deep. And I think it also hit me really hard because I'm in the middle of finishing my poetry book. And so I'm in that space of poetry and just let the words flow, which is what poetry is. It's magical. We've learned that from Amiri Baraka, from Sonia Sanchez, from so many of our elders. Nikki Giovanni is someone I love dearly as well, who we lost over a year ago. But poetry is a space where you can just express, in a way without all the rules, so-called rules of writing, just get it out. And that's what I felt with your piece. You weren't just speaking for yourself and just for your father, but it really was a piece about all of us. And that's what I appreciated, because, I felt like it was about the struggle of our people, and what we go through in the person of your father in that poem. So that's what really touched me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad. That means it worked. And like we say, Kev, sometimes the words come through us, from us. So I'm honored, and I thank you for taking the time. I just want to shout you out. I know that you got a lot of good things coming up in 2026.
Inshallah, yes, God
Yes,
willing.
not my job to say so, but I just want to tell people, if you want to know, you should follow, what is it, Poet Kevin Powell
Yes,
on
on social media, everywhere.
everywhere. Poet Kevin Powell, all one word. You should join the email list at Aquila Works on Put on Blast, because that's how we do, and follow us as well. April at what am I? April R. Silver and Aquila Works on, because we'll be promoting all of the amazing things I can't wait to talk about as well. Kevin, let me ask you this, and guys, let's put Kevin's social as a banner if we can as well on IG and Facebook and
Thank you.
all the places. Yeah, because we share, right? Before I ask you a question, Kev, thank you everybody who's watching. The numbers are growing up. We can tell how many people are watching. So if you're watching on Mark Lamont Hill's Twitter, thank you. That's where we get most of our views. But we want to remind you to switch over to YouTube, because that's how you support this channel, like, practically. So definitely go over to Mark Lamont Hill Official on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Ascending is the name of the show. Kevin, who are some of the people that you would like to shout out? Be it person who have transitioned, right? Whose life do you want to celebrate right now?
Whew. Wow. I was in a bookstore with my wife the other day because I just needed to get some new poetry books. Just trying to get through writing my book. I read a lot of whatever genre I'm writing in. I read a lot of that genre, and I picked up Nikki Giovanni's new poetry book.
Yes.
And unbeknownst to me, this is her last poetry book. So it's like her poems, it's letters, it's journal entries. And she had a poem in there called Kevin Powell 2020.
What?
Yeah. And then, and again, I knew Miss Giovanni, and you remember we had the writer's workshop when COVID hit, and we had her on, and I didn't know she wrote about it. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
so I wanna acknowledge Nikki Giovanni, because I loved her dearly. She was funny. Obviously she's in the pantheon of our great writers and voices and activists, but she also was incredibly generous. I wouldn't even have, now that I think about it, I was the Toni Morrison writer in residence the second year at Prairie View, HBCU in Texas, because she was the first one that she recommended me. And so I just need to acknowledge Nikki Giovanni, man. I loved her and I miss her dearly, but she was an incredible spirit who really cared about people coming behind her as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That had to be a wonderful, warm fuzzy to see your name as the title of a poem by Nikki Giovanni. You didn't even know.
I didn't know. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So it's just and I think about that. It's I need to share this with you. It's like it's just so many people, because as I've been working on liner notes for Bill Withers. I just wrote a long poem for him per his wife, and
Wow.
I've been doing a deep dive into our ancestors with this poetry book, April. So I can't really name a specific person.
Yeah.
I've thought about my own father, this week before you told me about your father. I only learned a couple years ago that my father couldn't even read or write at all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Here I am, a writer, you know what I'm saying? And it's this, you just think about who came before you. So I think the collective memory has been really hitting me a lot, especially because of what we went through last year, because I've been drawing something that Lasana Hotep said, that, in our film, our Black manhood film, we need to draw on the strength of Harriet Tubman. We need to draw on the strength of our ancestors, particularly in times like this. And so I think just in a general sense, that's what I've been thinking about a lot. How would they navigate this? And we have it in our DNA to do the same, to navigate this. You know what I mean?
That part. That
Yeah.
part. Yeah, I think you said it well when you're like, it's just so many to name. So we got to talk about the collective, you know what I mean? Because we could be here for all of 2026, just naming the names, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ashe. Ashe.
Kevin, I
Um,
thank you to know that this is the first thing that you have done in terms of, the media giant that you are, and we're your first. And you were first just a couple of weeks ago. I want to thank you for that. And I want to tell everybody, go back to the Ascending playlist, because when I tell you that episode with Kevin Powell, um, it was in the fall. His picture is there, so you'll see it. I don't remember which one, but go back and check it out. It was really emotional. It was sobering. It was amazing. It was inspiring. So Kevin, I thank you for who you be.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Shout out to Brother Drake and the entire team, and Brother Mark and everyone. And I'm going to go back to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Well, come back and watch, because I'm gonna try to live up
Okay.
the stand, because I want you to hear me reading it. That's part
Okay.
of the full tribute, to give it full breath.
All
But I
right.
thank you so much. Shout out to the game newsletter as well. So we'll talk to you soon, fam. I love you dearly.
I love you too. Peace.
Peace. Everybody, I see you're still tuning in. Go ahead and tell people we're gonna be here. You know what? This is what it means when you have your own show on a black network like this, like with Mark Lamont Hill. Shout out to Mark again, because I don't have any rules. I don't have any rules. Nobody's rushing me off. We ain't gonna keep you here forever. But I'm saying, go ahead and tell your people to come and log on. This is Ascending. I am your host, April R. Silver, and I am going to. I see the chat is blowing up like crazy, and I see that Chief Ayanda has spoken. So I'm just scrolling up to see all of the things that he's talking about, which I'm gonna read in real time. But Ifa is in the building. Uh-huh. Got it. Chief Ayanda, my Aluo, my Babalao, I am his student. He is my mentor. He mentors so many of us, many who are in here. Shout out to the Ile. He says, for those who are listening and not watching, Yoruba concept. When a child is born, we in the earthly realm celebrate their arrival and welcome them with joy, while those they left behind in the spirit realm lament the distance of a loved one. Yes, that is, and there's something else that he adds. I just want to highlight the the realities of the earthly realm and the spirit realm. Those are real things. I want to highlight, and he goes further to say, thank you, Baba, Modupueo. Likewise, as we cope with the transition of a loved one, their loved ones in the spirit realm celebrate the return of a long lost companion. That is real. That is a concept in Yoruba. And we thank the Babalao for enlightening us. And there's more. Chief Ayanda continues to say, may we take solace in the fact that our loved ones, while missed, are celebrating and celebrated a life well lived. Ireo. Thank you, Baba. Modupwe. Eshega, Baba. Um, we are in the distant future or the near future going to hear more from Chief Ayanda, wherever, but we'll keep you posted. Thank you, Baba, so much for, I hope you stay. But your presence is always felt. So I thank you so much. Sandy says, in reply, yes, Chief Ayanda, I smile thinking of the reunions in the spirit realm. That part, Sandy. The dancing, yes. The hugging, yes. The laughter and celebration, that is so real. My prayer for those who are willing to receive it is that we better respect and learn more about the spirit realm. And some of us may even opt to communicate with the spirit realm. That's a thing. Um, we are saying, oh, I can't tell who that is by face. I'm going through the comments, y'all. Sending my condolences to you. I have not had the pleasure of meeting. Oh, you're Misty's friend. Hi. Jersey Shine, I think. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. Misty is my other sister, the daughter of Miss Pat. So the family is represented here, family close and far. So I thank you for that. Um, Thank you, thank you. I want to see if there are any others, because if not, we can close out. I thank to everybody who called out a name, whether you put their names in the comments or not, that you're thinking about them, that you're contemplating what it means to be in communion. Yes, and with the earthly realm, but we can contemplate being in communion with those who are gone to back to the spirit realm. I think, guys, that we can go to a little bit more of my tribute. Is that right? Wait. Sandy says you can all watch Ascending episodes in the link that Rolando, the link evangelist, posted above. So check out the chat, y'all. Guys, producers, Drake, Aaron, Kevin, Anita, Audible. Should I go on to the?
Yes, you can go into your segment.
Okay.
Yes, and April, I have
Yes.
a question because I think it ties into your tribute to your father.
Yes.
And I think it may help us understand the relationship. You always say that you are a daddy's girl. And
Yes.
you've said that all my life that I've known you. And I think that speaks to how special the relationship was. So I just wanted to know, what does that mean to you? Like, could you explain that in terms of the connection to help us understand your relationship?
You're an amazing producer and a human being, because I never thought of it. It's so intuitive to me, and I always say it because I know what I feel when I say it. I've never had to put it in words. What I'm used to explaining before I answer your question is, why do I pronounce Daddy as daddy? That's what I'm used to explaining, because people are like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Daddy, like I don't understand what you don't hear is daddy." Because for whatever reason, my brother and I don't know what we were going on with our brains, but as children, that's how we pronounce Daddy, which I think most people pronounce as daddy, which sounds so weird to me. We grew up saying daddy, spelled Daidy. So I'm used to explaining that, right? But to your question, which I think is a good one, some of it is unanswerable, right? Some of it, to use Baba's word, some of it is unanswerable because it's a feeling. And some feelings you can't concretize, right? Some feelings you can't put into words. You either feel it or you don't, right? So that's a big part of the special relationship, which is positive and light filled. But the part that I can say of why I'm a proud daddy's girl, I tried to say daddy, because I felt heard and respected in the presence of my father. I was always encouraged in the presence of my father. It's important to say, and I think it's responsible to say that, and it's expected. My relationship with Eddie Silver Jr. is different than the relationship between him and his son, and different from the relationship that he had with his youngest daughter, who is in her 20s, and I could be her mother, right? It's different relationships. My brother and I are only 11 months apart, but I'm there's a girl dad, and then there's the relationship between males, so it's different. But I know that I always felt heard and respected and encouraged, and I don't want to ever apologize for that. I'm always mindful of people who don't have the presence of their father. I'm always mindful of people who had abusive fathers, fathers who never showed up, fathers who showed up sometimes and who broke promises. And my father was absolutely flawed. He was human and he was flawed. He was all of the things that one could expect a human to be, the full spectrum. What stood out to me and what was most consistent is the way he demonstrated love. Family was critical for him. I happen to have grown up in a two-parent household. I used to feel guilty about that, because a lot of people did. I have so many people who are single, grew up in single homes, and I used to feel guilty because both of my parents were in the household and they both worked, and we took trips. We have all of these things that I have as positive experiences, and I learned to not feel guilty about it. It's their sacrifices that remind me, don't feel guilty about it. But for me, it was that I was encouraged. My love for words was encouraged. He modeled for me what it meant to be up on current affairs. He's the first person who introduced me to Black music. I have now his record collection. He doesn't know I took records from him long time ago, his albums, his vinyl, for those who don't know. Oops. Um, but my love of music stems from him. My love of Black culture stems from him. Two things I'll say, and maybe it's a good segue. My tendency to be precise about things, as flawed as I am, I'm a precisionist. I'm not a perfectionist. It was because at a young age, as a teenager, my father taught us to don't say "oh" when you mean zero. So to this day, when I'm counting numbers, or let's say we lived in LA for a minute, and we lived in area code 90036. I'm using this as an example. Some, sorry, I'll take this call. I'm sorry, I was thrown off. Some of us will pronounce that 90036. Or when we say the telephone number, we might say 4109. My father was the first person at an early age that was like, that's, O is a letter, not a number. You all get my point. The precision that I have in part is because of him. My mother is the same way, but I remember him. My father was the first one to teach me about perseverance and not giving up hope, because he used to say to me, "You're closer today than you were yesterday," as a term of encouragement when I might be weary or tired or didn't want to fill out another application or a homework assignment. You're closer to finishing and meeting your goal than you were yesterday. In other words, keep going. My father was the other one. What was another thing he used to always say? I don't remember. It'll come to me as we're talking, but there's a lot of wisdom that he imparted. He let me know very early on, you're going to college. You don't have an option. Figure it out, because you're going to college. And I used to hate when people used to throw that on me. But look at what happened because of his support. So Aaron, does that answer your question? I think we
100%, April. 100%.
Okay. Okay.
I knew that you had a special relationship, and I just wanted the audience to understand.
No, it
And I
makes
think you
sense.
did a good job of explaining it.
It
So
makes
thank you
sense.
for that.
It makes sense. I'm sorry, I was distracted because I have my aunt, the matriarch on my mother's side of the family. She's called a couple of times. So if anybody here is from the McCullough side, call Aunt Flora. I have reason to believe that nothing is happening or going on. But if you're here from the McCullough side, call Aunt Flora and check in with her. But I know a pattern of, things like that being okay. So anyway, that's the distraction, y'all. I'm sorry. We'll edit that part out. Let's put up some pictures of my father. And then I'm going to read the poem. That is Eddie Silver Jr. Some of you all know him. If you're anywhere a descendant of Maddie Mabry, then you know him as either Uncle, you know him as June, which is short for Junior. What else? Mr. Ed. Some people know him as Mr. Ed. Somebody knows as Uncle Eddie. My mother's side of the family, his nieces and nephews, know him as Uncle Eddie. His peers knew him as Eddie. His name was not Edward. His legal name is Eddie. My mother's legal name is not Jennifer. Her legal name, born with her name, is Jenny. Shout out to my mother. But that is my father in grade school. Oh, look, y'all. Okay, here we go. Take the picture down. Let me show. I got his. There we go. Suffolk. Wait. Yeah, wherever. Y'all see it. Suffolk, Virginia. This is my father's quarter zip. As we're cleaning out the house and everything, I found this and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try not to wear this every day, y'all, but I knew I wanted to wear it today. He's from Suffolk, Virginia. So if anybody here is from Suffolk, Virginia, or any in the vicinity, shout out to you. I love you much. My father grew up in Suffolk, Virginia, did not graduate high school. From there, he went to Brooklyn. That's why I'm a diehard Brooklynite. And that was 1963, maybe 1962, 1963. Brooklyn and Coney Island is where he met my mother. They got married in 1966. When my father moved to Brooklyn, he moved with his mother and his brother in Brooklyn on Lexington Avenue in Bed-Stuy. Used to go to work to Coney Island at a toy factory. Met my mother. They got married. She lived in Brooklyn as well, from Alabama. They got married at 21. They had a house in Queens. Shout out to South Ozone Park, Queens, Jamaica, Queens, and had 2 children, me and my brother. And he did that without a high school education. I was there when he got his GED. So when I talk about the epitome of perseverance, when I talk about and when I contemplate what it takes for a man from Suffolk, Virginia, to move to New York and having not known but like 1 or 2 people, and to parlay that into a life, and then decide in 1979 with his wife, I don't want to raise my children in New York. 1979 in New York, in Queens, was not all that great, and so they decided to move to California. Who does that? This is before social media, before computers, although, personal computers. So I respect him for his vision. I respect him for his perseverance. I respect him and love him for giving me the life that I have from New York to Cali and encouraging me to return to the East Coast to go to Howard. There's another picture of he and I, another one, a different one. That's him, the man who got his GED at Los Angeles Community College. This is also in Los Angeles. This is one of my favorite. It's a little blurry, but this is one of my favorite. My father had famous big eyes. There are times when his eyes were bigger than this. This is Eddie Silver Jr., my father, who just passed. For those who are joining in for the first time, he passed on January 1st after a long, long journey with Alzheimer's and dementia. Can we pull up the quote from Damani, who some of us know as Dean King, who now goes by Damani? He's in the comments and I can't find it. I'm going to ask the guys because I want to shout him out, because I have a lot of father figures in my life. Some of the father figures are even younger than I am. But I shared this news personally. Some people I called and told them the news because Damani, an elder, is very close to me, was supportive of me, because people in my working circle knew that I had to, unvolunteer from certain things because, just dealing with my father. So many times we thought he was going to pass. In 2017 and 2018, after COVID, I picked out his casket years ago. I picked out the clothes that he would wear. He me and his wife picked out his casket, the clothes. She asked me to write the obituary for my father, just planning ahead years ago. My baba taught me we don't do obituaries for people who are living, so I never wrote the obituary when he was alive. But this is the kind of preparation we had. And Dean King, Damani, William Keene, who I met when I was in school, has knows a lot of this, and he's been supportive. So I saw him in the chat. Yes, he says April Ife, his wife. Um, Ife and Damani Keene, send our deepest condolences to you, Omar and Lex and Miss Pat's family. See, this is the people I rock with, because they're not just concerned in sending their love to me, but my entire family and my other family, the Vassars. Shout out to all of you, to Miss Sharon, to Miss Joan, to Misty, my other sister. I love that I'm in a community where people are not just thinking of just me and what they might perceive as my suffering. It is my celebration, but this is the kind of people I rock with. So, Damani Keene, Howard Man extraordinaire, and to your wife, my other mother as well, just in spirit and in support, Ife, I thank you so much, and I wanted to shout you out, definitely. So I think it's time for me to read the poem. Let me just go through the quotes real quick. I'm going through shared. Wait, is this somebody? Oh no, I just want to make sure that I give respect to people who are showing up. Oh wait, Sandy says another. Those we love are always with us. I celebrate my aunt, Dorothy. Maybe I'm so sorry if I messed up the name. Sandy says, I celebrate my aunt, Dorothy Shafiq, who transitioned October 1991, and her mom, yes, her mom, Sarah Addison, who transitioned July 2023, just shy of 92 years of age. Thank you. Sandy's my other. I have a lot of sisters. I just do. And I love you, Sandy. You're my Sandy. I'm going to say that forever. So thank you, Sandy, for sharing that. We have another one. Wait, there's more. Oh, this is, whew, I'm sure this is Misty herself. I am sure. Oh, sorry, Misty, if you didn't want your name. I just broke one of my rules around discretion. My apologies. She says that she shouts out Linda Swanson, Rosie Vassar, Patricia Vassar Silver, Eddie Silver Jr., all lost a little sooner than expected in Florida. Misty, you have my love. I know there's a lot going on, but you have my love and support. This is my other sister, y'all. This is Miss Pat's daughter, her biological daughter, who I want to give her proper positioning as well. Miss Pat had daughters. This is her biological. There's a whole life that Misty knew before any of us had the life there. And I just want to shout out once again, Linda Swanson, Rosie Vassar, Miss Rosie, who I had the honor of meeting. That's Miss Pat's mother. Patricia Vassar Silver, who I know as Miss Pat, my other mother. Eddie Silver Jr. Misty, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you come back. Okay, real talk. We got to have you on the show. I'm saying it out loud, Misty. I told you that when I learned more about you. Got to have you on the show because she does amazing work, family, as an activist and an advocate herself. So we'll make room for that, Misty. So I hope you continue to watch. And I'm sending love to you and Miss Sharon and Miss Joan and the entire Vassar family. I want to move on to say, Mo Beasley, who you all know, says, I'm lifting up the spirits of my cousins, Tiffany L. Lamar and Gerald Austin, who transitioned in 2025. Hashtag gone too soon. Thank you, Mo Beasley, for putting those names out there. You all remember Mo Beasley, a dear friend, client, partner, poet extraordinaire, someone who I sent my poem to as well, who liked it, but more important than any of that, has been on the show. Go back and watch those episodes. He was in the fatherhood episode and the Black music one. Yeah, that was in June to make it easier for you. Thank you, Mo Beasley. I love you dearly. I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and read. Oh, wait, here's Carlisle. Oh, my goodness. It says Carl. No, wait, sorry. Hold on. Guys, let me do it. Let me do it. Oh, you got it. Never mind. Carlisle Seeley says this is incredible. This is incredibly beautiful show of strength and love for honoring your dad in this way. And you asked me how I spoke. You asked me how I spoke during my mom's homegoing. Sorry. My prayers and understanding for you and your family. This is Carlisle Seeley, man, the legendary Carlisle Seeley, who I've never been disconnected from. I'm so grateful for that. A pillar in the Black student movement at Howard University. I'm so grateful for that. I remember being at Carlisle's the homegoing for Carlisle's mother. We trooped up to Brooklyn for that one. Um, so I'm happy to see that you find some alignment and some good vibes, Carlisle, in the way that I'm showing honor for my family as well. So I thank you for that, sir. And I love you dearly. Man, it's really wonderful to have people around you that and this might sound weird, but the way that my brain works, I'm security minded, right? And there's people when I'm around, I get to relax. There's certain men in particular and women that I'm around them, just given my background in activism, the one who has received death threats and the one who is, visually out there. There's certain people that I'm around where I know they got me forever and ever and ever and ever. And Carlisle is one of those people. It is an amazing thing to feel loved by your people. So, Carlisle, I just want to shout you out. We have Chifayanda is back. Ibase Bobo Ara Oum. We elevate in light and love the spirits of all of the names called this morning. Yes, Ireo, we do. In love and light, we elevate them. We say their names out loud. I tell my sister Lex every day, throughout the day, thank your mother out loud. It matters. Our ashe, the power that we have in the words that we carry. Words create life. They can destroy it as well, but there's a lot of power. Far be it from me to try to add to what Baba is saying, but I just wanted to say, to put his quote on for those who are listening and not watching. So I think no, wait, hold on. So we're going to move on, but Mo Beasley, hold on. Mo Beasley, let me do this, guys. Hold on. Pause. Mo Beasley, that's not how you spell daddy. It's daddy, and it's Daidy. Get it right, Mo Beasley. I'm teasing. Okay, let me read this. Yeah, I think we're good in the comments. Okay. For Mr. Eddie Silver Jr. Let me pause. Guys, can we put up the picture of me and him? Oh, I don't think we showed that one yet. This is 2009 in Florida. We were going to Florida A&M. Shout out to Dr. Makola Abdullah, who's going to be here in a couple of weeks, who is now the president of Virginia States. I came all the way to Florida to go to a FAMU game, and this is 2009 when I went at the guest of Dr. Makola Abdullah, who will be with us soon. So this is 2009 in Tampa. For Mr. Eddie Silver Jr., any and every kind of death. He is here and dying. His coughs, hefty and unwholesome, forecast the inevitable. Sometimes he yawns wide-mouthed. His glassy stares are consistent, sadly. His suffering is hard and visible. There is skin. There are bones. His fragile frame is locked and contracted eerily in a fetal position, but with the certain promise of death. Like a twig, there are no leaves signaling the promise of growth. But still, there is breath. I am grateful for his breathing. I am thankful that we are breathing together, sharing this realm. His heart is still in motion. He hasn't given up, though living is hard. It's not too much yet. I want for my father a certain kind of death. If anything can be designed for your favor, sir, if anything can that possibly exists in this world, and further, in any imaginable way for your good, at any moment, period, or iota of time, now, yesterday, in parallel universes and further, where any be a person, place, thing, or not, where any manifests through holes, crevices, canals, spaces, portals, wombs, or waterways. If anything can come together right now, sir, to ease your hurt, may it be so. If anything can be designed for your favor, sir, right now and before, to cancel your suffering and forever uproot your enemies at the source, those now invisible souls whose dirt muddied your souls, those who misguided your steps, quieted and made insecure your honorable ambitions, and unleashed your bitter bites onto innocent flesh, then let the design be marked and sealed in our forever consciousness, sir. May it be so. If there is any sound in this universe, even the one at the core of your soul, that can essentially vibrate magically to eons ago, rebirthing your good character and easing your hurt, then may you hear it. May you feel it. May everything you hold dear, everything that ever lifted you up, the good in you, everything that brightened your light and widened your famous giant eyes with joy and unleashed your wisdom, may all those things, sir, uphold you forever. Death of pain and suffering, come here. Dear breath of life, be gentle, be kind, stay here eternally. That, family, is the poem that I wrote for my father that was published through Kevin when I shared it with him. It was published on that day, and on the day my father died in the morning. My father died about 9 hours later. And I just wanted to share that because he wanted me to be a writer. He encouraged my writing. He bought my first business cards. He was supportive in that way. So I wanted to share that. I thank you for taking this journey. I pray that you find comfort. And I wish that you could have the joy in your bone marrow, in your consciousness that I have as I celebrate the life of my father. I don't have sorrow. I'm excited and honored to be the daughter of Eddie Silver Jr. And I wanted to just share that with you. And I thank you for being with us. We will be here, family, next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Please watch Ascending every chance you get, whether you're with us live or not. And I think we are done. Family, producers, yes?
Yes.
We are done. Okay. Family, I love you. We will see you next Saturday. In the meantime, stay up.